Hello and welcome to Wrestling Trope Alert, the channel where we analyze professional wrestling. If this is your first time here, help the channel by clicking the subscribe button. Today we are going back to 2004 and we are going to talk about the worst season of WWE's reality show, Tough Enough. Originally airing on MTV for 3 seasons, Tough Enough was a reality TV show designed to find the next wrestling superstar, airing between 2001 and 2003. But by 2004, MTV pulled the plug on Tough Enough because allegedly the WWE wouldn't allow for much control of the TV product. The WWE, however, were not ready to let go of this prime intellectual property, and much like the $250,000 Diva Search that ran on Raw from July to September, Tough Enough would be coming to the Blue Show Smackdown with a new gimmick. This time the winner would win $1 million. Unbeknownst to everyone watching, written deep in the talent contract for Tough Enough, WWE actually had the option to terminate the contract after the first year, so the supposed $1 million prize would be divided over 4 years at the rate of $250,000 per year. In true WWE fashion, Puder got
Life sucks, and then you die!
Out of the thousands of people that applied, 50 were chosen. The WWE hired a guy to design a course meant to eliminate contestants, and the herd would be thinned to 8 guys over the 2 days that followed, with a series of heavily demanding physical tasks. Young Luke Gallows makes his presence felt years before he became Doc Gallows. And also of note, a personal favorite of mine, Marty Wright, the man that would become the Boogeyman, tries to lie his way into a WWE talent contract.
How old are you?
30.
How old are you?
30.
Don't lie to us. How old are you?
30.
You lying to us?
30.
What's your license say?
30.
What does your birthday say in your license?
My birthday says...
Read it to me.
7/15/64. That's right, I am 40.
Training the rookies in this season, we have Al Snow, the man who owes his wrestling career to a piece of styrofoam-shaped body part. And also Bill Demott, the staple of WCW's second-tier broadcasts of Saturday Night and Thunder. The first contestant the show decides to introduce is John Meyer. No, not that one, this one. A former Marine with a good physique that gets through the beach trial but then takes 2 bumps and decides to call it quits later on. Tough Enough then breaks our hearts by turning the spotlight to Brian Danovich. This charismatic, charming and overall nice young man is shown surrounded by a bunch of other swole and jacked up dudes, bench pressing like a madman, and with all that testosterone flowing, Danovich manages to injure himself by tearing both his pectoral muscle and his bicep. Danovich is forced to compete the day after with this serious injury. Danovich shows tremendous heart and makes it through the obstacle course with a torn pectoral muscle and a torn bicep. Tough Enough trainer Al Snow then cuts an inspiring promo on Danovich.
How bad do you want this? More than anything in the world. I'm coming to the big time. Today you showed a tremendous amount of heart. Exactly what this business is about. Thank you for that. Brian, I'm sorry. You're cut.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. I really hope one day to be a part of this family.
Hey Brian, what I'd like to do is I'd like to pay for your injury to get fixed and send you down to OVW and give you a developmental deal. Okay?
Thank you so much. I just got accepted into the only family I've ever wanted to be in.
Unfortunately, Danovich never made it to the main roster. Danovich was released in September of 2005, quickly disappearing from the wrestling spotlight, resurfacing later in 2015 on Brian Zane's Wrestling with Regret video about this very season of Tough Enough. Sadly, Brian Danovich passed away on August 9, 2018 at the young age of 38. During this 2-day ordeal, we constantly see the trainers cutting promos on the aspiring young wrestlers. Bill Demott and Al Snow and even the Optimum Fitness guy are dialed up to 11, spitting epitaphs of tough love in the faces of these young men.
You're an Olympic athlete! You did 10 seconds faster than the fat kid!
Side note, wrestling is a very demanding physical task, but beach obstacle courses and ripping off American Gladiator maybe is not the best way to convey that. But what do I know, I'm just a wrestling YouTuber redoing this video 2 years later because of copyright claims. Thanks Vince McMahon! Eventually the judges decide who is going to be on this season of Tough Enough. A dude that looks a lot like Eli Drake, the current LA Knight, is caught on camera. Channel favorite Johnny Ace shows up on screen for the second time and Al Snow announces the final 8. First contestant is Daniel Rodimer. Rodimer is 26-year-old, is a cocky young man and has a face that automatically gets heat. Rodimer has some face heat. Rodimer would be signed into developmental territory of VW and would make his way to the main roster for a brief stint. But according to internet wrestling lore, Rodimer's match in the main roster with Cena caused him to be fired. Currently, Daniel Rodimer is involved in politics. Contestant number 2 is Silverback Ryan Reeves, the future Skip Sheffield and Ryback. Ryback is 22 years old at this point, portraying a gimmick of eating lots of food but also lifting very heavy weights. Currently, Ryback is selling his line of fitness products while rehabbing his multiple injuries. Contestant number 3 is Nick Mitchell, the funny and cocky jockstrap. Mitchell seems like a good guy and he is the goofball of the bunch, known later as one of the members of the ill-fated team, the Spirit Squad. The fourth contestant is none other than Mike the Miz Mizanin. Years before he became one of the best things on the WWE broadcasts, with his supreme microphone skills and strong work ethic, here, in this very moment, Miz is just a former real-world participant who really wanted to become a professional wrestler. Fifth contestant is Justice Smith, who is a Taekwondo practitioner who, funny enough, eventually became an American Gladiator. Justice Smith is a confident young man who calls everyone B.
What's up, B?
Come on, B.
What's B?
B's is short for brother. You know, I forgot your names. I'm like, come on, B.
Sixth contestant is John Meyer, a former member of the Navy who decides bumping is too hard and quits on the second day of training. Seventh contestant is Chris Nawrocki, and his trope-defining characteristic is that he is a womanizer and he makes up songs on the fly.
I am Chris Nawrocki, the womanizer.
He's a jobber, a big-time jobber. But let me tell you what I think about JBL. He's a Texas man, and he's going to hell, cause he's a jobber, a big-time jobber.
Eighth and final contestant is Daniel Puder, a trained MMA fighter back before MMA was named MMA. Puder is an athletic individual who at this time is doing what he calls ultimate fighting. Puder would later do his best to embarrass Olympic badass Kurt Angle in the middle of the ring and little else. In the time between the Venice Beach competition and the actual start of Tough Enough in Smackdown, we get treated to some sophomoric humor and miscellaneous BS by the WWE. We are presented with a silly competition about high jumping that Justice Smith and Daniel Rodimer participate in, where these two young dudes attempt to jump as high as they can, with the loser having to dress as a woman. So they both lose, and this sad piece of crap is what we get.
Two guys that big.
You ready, Daniela?
Trying on bikini tops and little frilly bottoms.
You got the top on backwards.
So funny to dress up as a female.
Cringe.
And the cringe doesn't stop there, because next they take these two poor souls dressed in lingerie and wearing high heels to the local strip club to pole dance and strip for the local patrons, ruining the day for whoever decided to partake in the local adult entertainment.
Dan really seemed to just go for it right away, which is great.
I feel a lot more for women.
And Justice, his eyes, his smile.
First time I jumped on a pole, felt like it was gonna break.
What they did, they should never do again.
Like, oh, I'm too big for the pole.
After the introduction of these 7 hungry dudes, it's time for them to join the rest of the roster. Walking down the hallway, in their minds they are thinking that today is the day they are going to become WWE superstars. Walking into a locker room, the Tough Enough dudes are met with mostly mid-carders and the Big Show.
I saw Tiger, now I understand. Well, I saw Tiger, now I understand.
Also, Hardcore Holly, the Tough Enough contestant's favorite wrestler, is here. Side note, Hardcore Holly is infamous for his treatment of Tough Enough contestants, and Holly had mistreated Matt Cappotelli in a previous season of Tough Enough. Big Show cuts a promo on the Tough Enough dudes by saying that the locker room is a sacred place.
Whoa. What the hell is this? This is Howard, bro. Everybody in this locker room has paid their dues to be here. You clowns have it. And get your out in the hallway. You will get out of our locker room now.
Side note, that's all fine and dandy, and I agree, but this is coming from the guy who in his first opportunity on his first night in WCW a couple of years back became the WCW World Heavyweight Champion in a Monster Trucks clusterfuck of a storyline. Daniel Puder, the MMA dude, is terrified. Puder is standing there not knowing what to do. Big Show, desperate to be a badass, shoves Puder, and Puder flies 6 feet onto the locker behind him, with Rico Constantino gazing in dismay at what is unfolding before his very eyes.
Are you bowling up? Don't bowl up. Get out of my locker room now.
Side note, these guys were already in athletic gear, because next, Al Snow tells them to drop their bags and on they go to the ring, without dressing or taking any clothes off, rendering this whole thing redundant. The dudes make their entrance to an Al Snow pop and Rodimer's face gets all the heat. The dudes are introduced to the crowd, with everyone getting booed except for Justice Smith.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 7 finalists. Chris Nawrocki, Mike Mizanin, Ryan Reeves, Dan Rodimer.
I'll tell you, Dan was
Nick Mitchell, Justice Smith.
He's a model and actor.
Daniel Puder.
And here's a cage fighter who owns his own print and marketing company.
On this Smackdown broadcast is the beginning of the unfunny and painfully long series of segments that do everything but prepare these dudes for wrestling stardom. Tonight is time to cut a promo on the Big Show. Nawrocki sucks at cutting promos on the Big Slow.
And when I win this $1 million Tough Enough competition, Big Show, you will never be putting me in my place again.
Miz forgets he's in Omaha, Nebraska and not Oklahoma.
This is the true story of when the Miz came to Oklahoma!
We're in Nebraska, though.
Yeah, baby! I have never wrestled before, but with the training of Mr. Al Snow, and in a year,
Ryback is trying to get Silverback Ryan Reeves over.
My name is Silverback Ryan Reeves. I am the real Vanilla Gorilla. Big Show, you don't scare me or any of these guys.
Rodimer gets some face heat.
Well, look, Big Show, I see you go up to my boy Dan, push him around. You looked at me first, I smiled right in your face. And what did you do? Absolutely nothing. I ain't going nowhere.
Mitchell does something stupid and ends his promo by saying scrap crap that high.
You're the Big Show and you do this? So you're too big for that. I didn't know they stack crap that high.
Spoiler alert, Angle steals his gimmick the very next week.
You're a pretty tall guy. I didn't know they stack crap that high in St. Louis.
Justice Smith does whatever this is.
Yo, Big Show, come out and play. Yeah. You looked at Big B and you didn't do nothing to him. What's up with that, Big Show, huh, son?
And Daniel Puder is going to break all of Big Show's legs. All 2 of them.
Big Show, you think that hurt?
I'm an ultimate fighter. When I get done with you, you're armed and your legs will be broken. All of them. I'm gonna take you on, cut your legs off, and you're not gonna be...
The Big Show then makes his entrance telling the guys to step back. Then Big Show exchanges some words with Daniel Rodimer and attempts to sucker punch the poor guy, embarrassing himself in the process by missing the strike, with face hit Rodimer getting the better of the Big Show. And after that, the Big Show is going to deliver a single body slam to each of the 7 contestants. And the contestants are all going to Deadweight the Giant.
Look at Ryan Reeves stepping up.
Reeves takes the first body slam.
Oh! Mike
The
Mizanin.
Miz is up and down.
I did my little skip up to him.
Oh, and a slap to Nick Mitchell. There goes Nick Mitchell up and down. This kid does have heart. All these kids have heart. Can't explain this pain, Cole. Oh, my God. Look at this. Oh, Justice Smith. Oh, here we go. Foot 8 Rodimer planted. And a knee to the chest.
On the next Smackdown broadcast, the Tough Enough contestants are getting work done physically, with a series of intense workouts around the arena. Then the dudes are sat down and forced to eat boatloads of pasta and drink milk, followed by more physical exercises because logic. Moments later, it's now time for Uncle Olympic Medal Kurt Angle to cut a promo on the Tough Enough dudes.
What's your name? Chris Nawrocki. You think you're tough enough? Yes, sir. Shut your mouth.
Ryan Reeves.
Shut your freaking mouth, too.
Nick Mitchell.
I heard you're pretty tough. You think you're tough?
Yes, sir.
Keep your mouth shut. Dan Rodimer. Shut up.
Justice Smith, sir.
What do you got to say? It's ain't nothing. You have nothing.
Mike Mizanin.
You're the MTV guy, huh? MTV sucks.
Daniel Puder, sir.
You're the UFC guy, huh?
Yes, sir.
You ever fight an Olympic champion?
No, sir.
You don't want to because I'll beat your ass. How about I beat your ass? Stare away. Stare away. Don't look at me like that. Don't look at me like that. I'll slap your face. I'll punch your face in. I'll make you dizzy. I'll knock you out. You spit in your face? You stare away from me right now. You're a pretty tall guy, huh?
Yes, sir.
I didn't know they stack crap that high in St. Louis.
So you're too big for that. I didn't know they stack crap that high.
You better pray you don't make it, boy.
After boring the people for 2 minutes and talking about the time that Angle shot the Big Show with a tranquilizer gun, Angle instructs the dudes to do squat thrusts. Why? I don't know. The contestant squats get eliminated one by one and Nawrocki wins this competition but loses at the same time, because the prize is a match with Kurt Angle right here, right now. And as expected, Kurt Angle takes down the exhausted Nawrocki, breaking his ribs in the process.
I actually suffered a fractured rib.
I didn't know when Chris's ribs were hurt. That's what this sport's all about.
Still, Angle is not done with the Tough Enough dudes. And outside of the ring, Daniel Puder is volunteering to go toe-to-toe with the badass Kurt Angle. Angle, who is a legit badass, has some backup in form of 2 referees in the ring. Unfortunately for Angle, Puder kinda knows what he's doing, and even has an overall MMA record 7 wins, no losses after his WWE stint. First chance Puder gets, Puder hooks Angle in the Kimura, with the referee saving Angle from embarrassment by Montreal screwjobbing Puder. Later in the broadcasts, all 7 contestants appear shirtless for no reason, except for Nawrocki, who's rocking some sweet bandages around his ribs because of Uncle Angle. In enters Torrie Wilson to announce that the next week, live on Smackdown, it's the sex test with Torrie Wilson. Torrie proceeds to stare down the contestants, who try very hard not to look at her chest, straining their necks, struggling to maintain eye contact with the lovely Torrie Wilson. On the following Smackdown broadcast, in the ring, the dudes are dressed up like idiots for Vince McMahon's enjoyment. 2 blonde women from a TV show that no one cares about are also in the ring, and the injured Chris Nawrocki gets asked by trainer Al Snow if he wants to quit, probably to avoid some lawsuits later.
Chris Nawrocki, last week you were injured by Kurt Angle. Your rib is broken. Do you want to quit Tough Enough? No, sir! Think about this for a minute. Do you want to quit Tough Enough? No.
After this lawsuit avoidance ordeal, it's time for the birthday boy Nick Mitchell to leave the competition. Then Torrie Wilson comes out looking very fine.
Oh, yeah! Torrie looks phenomenal, outstanding. When doesn't she? You're right.
Are you boys ready for the Torrie Wilson sex test? Each one of you will have 15 seconds to make out with a diva. That diva, pick one person that she thinks might possibly make the best lover. That person will get a very special surprise.
Apparently Vince McMahon thinks kissing is sex, and the contestants are going to make out with a diva for 15 seconds.
Oh man, did I ever tell you, Cole, that I love Smackdown? I love Dawn Marie.
The person that you will it, Mae Young!
Oh my God!
Mae Young comes out with the fabulous Moolah in tow, leading to some of the worst televised moments in the history of WWE television. Puder snuggles Mae writes justice.
She tried to grab my booty.
Mae dives on Rodimer, Ryback with a fake smile rolls around with Mae. Miz flashes some condoms because of reasons and Mae dives on Miz and starts choking the Miz. Nawrocki with injured Reeves joins Mae in what appears to be a joint seizure. Then Puder is declared the winner and the prize is a Mae Young lap dance. In Tough Enough, you lose by winning. Tough Enough debacle continues on the very next week with the Tough Enough dudes standing side by side backstage. Al Snow again asks Nawrocki if he wants to quit, Nawrocki says no, and 10 seconds later he is eliminated from the competition altogether, rendering these 5 minutes, again, redundant. This week on the train wreck known as the $1 Million Tough Enough, it's time for JB Azlakis the Bashams to try and stop some very motivated guys from capturing a flag. Still no idea how any of this helps the WWE to find the next Rock or Stone Cold. Guess I'm just watching for the same reason people slow down to watch car wrecks. Miz from Parma, Ohio starts this silly competition of capture the flag, getting taken down by the Bashams in a not so very compelling piece of broadcast television, with the contest stopping because Miz grabbed the ropes. Apparently the ropes break the count, but only if you are not Ryback, because next Ryback grabs the ropes for 30 seconds with a Basham on each leg and nothing gets stopped. Rope breaks then also don't work for Rodimer and Justice. Puder gets the softer Bashams who are doing this for the 5th time, and they are now visibly tired. Puder gets the closest to the flag, both Bashams pile on him and 30 seconds go by. Final result, everyone loses the competition. Later that evening, the dudes would appear once again and cut a 30-second promo, with all promos starting and ending with the Royal Rumble buzzer for some reason.
I'm not gonna come to you as The Miz, I'm gonna come to you as Mike Mizanin.
This isn't CM Punk talking to Triple H, this is Phil Brooks talking to Paul Levesque.
I've been dedicating my life for the past 2.5 years on the independent circuit.
I have never wrestled before.
I've been wrestling. Please vote for me. I want this more than life itself.
Hoorah! You know, I call myself Silverback, but right now I'm Ryan Reeves. I'm gonna do whatever it takes, because I know without a shadow of a doubt that I belong here in this business. And one day, I hope to have you fans chanting my name.
Really?
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 Really? I'm actually a really big fan of your show.
Thank you very much. And if you're dishing out the compliments, then feed me more.
Back the man who says that he was born to do this. The longer this match goes. I love it when this crowd chants Goldberg while Ryback's in the ring.
Daniel Rodimer, here's your chance. It takes a few things to be a WWE superstar. Strength, charisma. It might take a few weeks, but I will be there. Guys might call me cocky, but I'm just confident.
Well, Uncle Al, I'm 6'8", 285 pounds. Wanted this all my life. I'm gonna put it down, and that's what's up.
Justice Smith seems to want it.
I got in the ring with Kurt Angle a couple weeks ago. I challenged him. I won the Torrie Wilson sex test. I got a lap dance, and I'm here to give it my all. Do whatever I need to do.
On the November 25th episode of Smackdown, the Big Show appears smirking at a CGI turkey. That's not related to Tough Enough, but it's funny. 10 minutes in the broadcast, someone is getting eliminated, with Al Snow calling both Daniels Daniel, but the graphics says Dan for both of them.
Daniel Rodimer! Daniel Puder!
Apparently Ryback is also injured and again keeping record for posterity. In the event of a lawsuit from these injured contestants, the WWE records Ryback saying that he continues in the show despite being injured. Then face it, Rodimer gets eliminated to the surprise and dismay of everyone involved. Then Al Snow announces what the 4 remaining contestants are doing tonight. First arm wrestling match is Miz vs Puder, and Miz is forced to compete with his right hand even though he is left-handed. Puder takes 1 second to beat the Miz, Ryback with injured Reeves wins over Justice in 17 seconds, and moments later Ryback loses to Puder in 5 seconds. Later in the broadcast, as usual, the guys come out to cut some awful promos.
We're gonna give each of you 20 seconds to tell the audience what you're thankful for.
Thankful to be in the top 4 of this Tough Enough competition, baby. I'm thankful that I'm not a brown noser like Puder. Hoorah!
I'm thankful for food, my family. I came here to conduct a silverback survey. Everybody here, come to see the real vanilla gorilla, silverback Brian Reeves.
I'd like to thank God Almighty. I'd like to thank my friends and family. I'd like to thank Vince McMahon for giving me this opportunity.
I'd like to thank my fans, my family, Lord Jesus Christ. And I'm going straight to the top. My favorite 3 words are snap, crackle, and pop.
On the next Smackdown broadcast, Ryback as the usual lawsuit avoiding question, and spoiler alert, moments later he's gone from the show. But first, the dudes are standing in the ring, but because of reasons we get pre-taped promos.
Daniel Puder. He has his head so far up Bill and Al's butts, turning his blonde hair brown. Face it, nobody likes a teacher's pet, because he's been claiming he's a UFC fighter. He's been basically leading the crowd on. Yeah, he's...
Okay.
That's easy. It would be Daniel Puder. He's not here for wrestling. He's here to market himself for Ultimate Fighting, I believe. He does not belong here. He doesn't care about this business. He's here for himself.
Wow.
Daniel Puder. Confidence should not be verbalized. Every day we hear it every day about how good I am and how bad we are.
Wow. You know who they want to vote off?
Let's see if Puder picks Puder.
I'd vote off Justice. He's the biggest guy here, but he hasn't proven himself as being the biggest guy. But when he came out here against the Basham brothers, he was on the ground, squirming. He has some funny lines. He doesn't play some
After the promos, Ryback gets eliminated, still hugs Puder even though he hates him, and the boxing match between whoever is left in the competition is announced for the Armageddon pay-per-view. But first, in this Smackdown broadcast, something truly awful happens. Not only are the Tough Enough dudes going to be dressing in women's clothing again, but they will be dressing in women's clothing 10 seconds after the WWE honors the military. Specifically, a very emotional veteran named Ted Spain. So what could be the worst possible segment after this emotional moment? Some dudes dressed as women for no reason. So in 10 seconds we go from a man who served his country, a proud veteran of a war, to Al Snow announcing Daniela Puder, because logic. Justice is Justina, Mrs. Michelle.
Daniela? Oh my! That is really Dan, right? What is that, a fluffer? Reminds me of that tennis pro, the tennis player.
Serena Wilson?
Serena Venus, whatever her name is.
Michelle!
Oh my God.
Mizanin!
What is that?
I don't know, Paul. That's a little... The guy looks a little comfortable on that. I was trained by WWE Hall of Famer, the unpredictable Johnny Ross. I never, ever had to do something like this. Those teeth, those some are teeth. Some are missing, some are green, some are black.
Oh my.
Paul, why do you seem so excited watching this?
It's fun.
It's fun to me is watching a good match or a football game, you know what I mean?
Surprise! Hardcore Holly, who is forever linked to Tough Enough contestants because of his treatment of WWE hopeful Matt Capatelli, makes his surprise arrival.
Well, if anybody was homophobic, it would have to be Hardcore Holly. Al, these are some of the ugliest women I've ever seen in my life!
Can't argue with the Hardcore. You were the best person to come out here and help me tonight. Gentlemen, and I use the term very loosely, you'll each have 30 seconds to convince Hardcore Holly he's the object of your affection.
Oh my.
Then the audience will determine who the best female impersonator is.
I don't think Holly signed up for this.
I came out here to judge a contest. I am not the desire or affection of any man. At least I hope I'm not. Guess I'm not doing this. Bye.
Bob, Hardcore, are you saying you're not tough enough? If you're scared, say you're scared. You're telling me you're not man enough to stand here and just listen to them? The Hardcore Holly is up to any challenge. He's up to anything that needs to be done.
I'm fine with it, okay? I'll do it. I'm fine.
You're gonna do it? Game on! Yahtzee!
Hardcore. You like whips and chains? Can you bash this? Smack that? Hardcore.
Reminds me of your prom, Cole.
Okay. My date looked like that.
Okay.
Hey, Mr. Hard Rock. I brought you some crunk juice. Mr. Hardcore, I got you some teeth. Oh, this bite. I got you some lobster. Hardcore.
Hardcore Holly, I brought you a Puder bear. When you come and train and work out, you're gonna have a smile on your face and Puder in your mind. Look at that butt. You are so beautiful.
The Miz wins this cringy competition that still doesn't make anyone a better wrestling draw, and Snow tells the guys to take off their clothes in the middle of the ring for some reason. Then Al Snow proceeds to take a punch from Hardcore Holly because Holly needs to get his heat back. The dudes probably weren't told that Hardcore Holly was going to punch Al Snow, because the Miz almost gets worked into a shoot and steps up to Hardcore Holly. Miz gets shoved by Holly.
I feel sorry for women. I know what women feel like now.
On the December 9th edition of Smackdown, we get treated to the build-up of the pseudo-boxing match happening later at Armageddon, between whoever is left by the end of the night.
All week long, Justice and Puder have been sitting there saying, I'm gonna beat your butt. Come Armageddon Sunday night, I'm gonna be pure and solid Miz all up in your butt. Hoorah, baby, step into my reality.
Whether it's Mike or whether it's Dan, I'm trying to put heads to bed. 1-2 to the jaw, whatever, get that contract and walk home a proud man. Anytime y'all ready, bring it on.
There are two pains in life, my right and my left. I don't care who I get in the match with. I will knock anybody out that gets in that ring with me. I create referee stoppage as far as I have to do to get the contract, which I have earned.
Next, to the surprise of no one, Justice Smith gets eliminated from the competition.
Why do you think that you were eliminated tonight?
Probably lack of votes.
The build to the Armageddon pay-per-view is in full effect, and in that event, Miz and Puder are going to have their first match ever live on pay-per-view. But they are not going to wrestle, they are not going to cage fight, they are going to have a Dixie Carter dogfight. Oops, sorry, it's not going to be the daughter of a big energy conglomerate who owns a wrestling company fighting to sign WWE rejects, it's a boxing match. But that's in 3 days' time. Today, the WWE has to fill some time and at least pretend they care about it. So what's the latest in sports entertainment training technology? Fake American Gladiator. Fake American Gladiator on top of the squared circle, and the inflatable thing they came up with doesn't even cover the whole ring. Because logic. Puder wins the first round in 5 seconds and the second one in 3 seconds. That's 8 seconds of content compared to the at least 20 minutes that this inflatable thing took to set up. It's Christmas in 2004, so of course the name of this month's pay-per-view extravaganza is Armageddon.
This past week, I've been hearing people say, Mike, you're an underdog. He's boxed before. He's an ultimate fighter. The underdog is gonna have some bite. Eat it, Puder.
There are two pains in life, my right and my left, man. And I create referee stoppage. Too much crap, Mike. I'm gonna kick your ass. It's more than $1 million to me.
Hall of Famer Teddy Long comes out to announce this train wreck. WWE got the Georgia Athletic Commission involved in this. This PS match is being portrayed as real. We got a guy named Thomas Mishu, who is a very charismatic individual representing the commission, and the match itself is going to be refereed by a guy named George Chip, who apparently has been doing this for 15 years. Miz makes his entrance and gets announced twice by Teddy Long, which is probably a boxing thing. Then Puder comes out, announced from the land of iPhones, Cupertino, California.
From Cupertino, California, Daniel Puder.
In a very long, boring and tedious boxing match, Miz attempts to hold his own and even lands some punches on Puder's pretty face. But eventually Puder gets the upper hand and manages to dominate the Miz by landing a rabbit punch to the back of Miz's head in the second round. After this whole boxing debacle without knockout, the people choose the winner, and the winner obviously is Puder, because the Miz can't punch worth a shit. In the middle of the show, Al Snow, serving as the host, is here to say numbers.
$1 million Tough Enough, thousands of entrants, 8 contestants, 2 finalists, 1 winner.
The Miz and Puder make their way to the ring, both wearing business casual street clothes, shaking hands and hugging each other. Snow again goes the number game.
8 weeks, 1 winner, the $1 million WWE contract.
And announces
the winner of the $1 million Daniel Puder.
Except that he doesn't. Puder jumps up and down looking like an asshole, and the Miz is sad. And now for the cherry on top of the cake. Al Snow asks Daniel Puder if he would like the chance to main event Wrestlemania, informing Puder that he's going to go on to enter the Royal Rumble match 2 months later. Fast forward 2 months later, at the infamous 2005 Royal Rumble where Vince McMahon tore both his quads, the one where Cena and Batista eliminated each other simultaneously, the Tough Enough contestant winner Daniel Puder would enter the Rumble match to join the highly believable and highly skilled workers Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit. Puder cuts a promo outside the ring, Puder then enters the ring, and the veterans proceed to knife headshot Puder.
He doesn't have any. Oh, he's gonna pick his spots. Teamwork. Confidence. Look at his way.
Puder almost dies in a back suplex. Guerrero gives the three amigos to Puder, and then Hardcore Holly would make his entrance at number 4, and Holly would make the pain train continue on Daniel Puder.
Puder's like, oh, and there's every.
Daniel Puder would be eliminated from the Royal Rumble as Hurricane Helms is making his Rumble entrance, and this would be the end of Daniel Puder's career for the WWE. Thank you for watching this trip down memory lane. If I missed anything, please let me know in the comments below. Feel free to press that like button and also subscribe for more future content just like this, or better. This has been fun, thank you for watching.